I want to tell you a story. All right, this is a true story from this year. A great guy. He may even be on the webinar. I haven't even checked. Just a fantastic member of the SMB community. He came to us early this year when we were launching DNA. We do DNA twice a year. As you can see, we're about to kick off our fall version of it. He came to us, and I remember in his application, he was talking about how he wanted to achieve more consistency. He'd had a little bit of success, failures, obviously, and was looking to get consistent. He went through our DNA program. A month after that, his best month ever, okay? Now, I want to stress that that is not because like we gave him some just secret sauce and said, here's the magic formula, buddy, there you go. We do give a lot of great tools and skill sets and whatnot, but this guy put in the work, okay? This guy took the lessons from Bella and Steve, and he put in the work that we let you know what work you need to be doing, and he did that. He then joined us for the Winning Trader. Maybe some of you were in that as well. So he added a couple setups to his playbook, things that the guys on our desk right here are using to be consistent themselves. Shark came in, talked about how he used VWAP, a lot of really powerful setups. From there, fast forward now towards the tail end of the year, it's his first six-figure year. He is actually coming to train with us early in 2017. He's actually going to be on the desk in New York, and I know I'm rooting for him to actually get a seat on the desk. I personally think that he would be a really valuable member of our trading desk here. He's a very hard worker. His playbooks are impeccable. The guy just really puts in the work, as I keep hammering into you here. So, I'm here to talk about DNA a little bit and how this whole awesome story started with DNA with this guy early this year. And now look at where he is, having a shot at getting a seat on the desk. DNA is what Bella and Steve have done for years and years and years. They have built traders from the ground up. That's our specialty here, okay? A lot of guys in the room are in that exact seat around me right now. What we've done is we've taken a lot of the absolute crucial components and skill sets of that development that they've learned throughout the years. Again, they have learned from years of teaching, of how to be better teachers, right? So they've taken that, condensed it into a 5-week course. Not only are you learning all these lessons and accessing all this content on demand, but there's also the access to meetings like this in this exact room right here. You sit down with Steve Spencer before the open, listen to what he's looking at trading that day, what levels he's looking at, how he is planning on going about attacking a couple stocks in play, second day plays as well. You get access to sit down with Bella at 11 a.m. You get to hear him talk about what a lot of the guys in this room were doing, what the best opportunities were, how they might attack them, and maybe some things they're looking at heading into the afternoon session in terms of opportunity. So it's a really powerful class, DNA. You get the on-demand content, the learning, the lessons, the years of wisdom, pack it in. You've got to put in the work and learn it. And then you get access to a real prop desk in New York of meetings that we're having and get to see professionals and developing professionals take these exact concepts and apply them in real market conditions. I wish 10 years ago when I had started learning to trade that I would have known about this type of program and been able to do it. So, reach out if you guys have any questions. You can see on the screen, you can access this by smbu.com/DNA, and we're going to kick off the program next week. You have to apply, and that'll come to me, and I'm filtering the applications. Don't give me one-word answers on how you prepare for the open, okay? I'm not going to be happy about it. Tell me what you're doing. You have to apply before tomorrow to get our sale price, which is $500 off the full price. So I look forward to hearing from you guys, and it's going to be a great class as usual.
So the goals for this presentation are to introduce some consistently profitable traders from our firm and why they succeed, to give you guys some motivation to become one of them very quickly, or relatively quickly, either one, to share some lessons from my seat in the trading community. And so I have a unique seat in the trading community. I'm a partner, which means I get to interact with lots of other partners and exchange notes as to who's doing well and why they're doing well and what trading strategies some of these guys are doing well in. I get to hear from independent traders, retail traders, institutional traders as a result of having written a couple of books, One Good Trade and The Playbook. And as it's interesting, we present to the trading community almost 100% of what we do from SMBU, and the reality is that 15% of our work is through SMBU and 85% is through our prop desk, sitting here training guys like you. And this is a good example of us sort of overlapping between the two. But because of that, there are a lot of people who share, hey, this is what's doing well, here's why I'm making money. And there are some retail traders out there, and there's some independent guys out there that do pretty well and are happy to share why. And then obviously working with the guys in the room and the guys who have preceded you helps us to understand, hey, here are the people that do well, here's why they do well. And a lot of what we do here is we talk to you guys about this person did well, here are some of the characteristics that they exhibit, here are some of the best practices that they go through. You know, Ryan, you get to sit with Shark and you get to see in real time what he's going through. That's very helpful. You know, let me model how Shark prepares and how he thinks through certain trades. Let me model the way Swang can scalp, and we'll talk a little bit more about a couple of guys from our desk. But we're just trying to figure out, we're just trying to study who the guys are who are doing well, why they're doing well, and getting you guys to do more of that. Okay? So we're going to talk about 5 things profitable traders do that losing traders don't. We'll take some questions and perhaps answer them. And just a note that you can start applying, as Merritt said, for Fall S&B DNA 2016 right now. So the first thing that I notice in my conversations and in my observations is that losing traders try and make money, and the best traders try and grow. And we have the privilege of sitting with somebody who I traded with back in the day, who is also a 3-time, can I say this?
Sure.
A 3-time state football championship coach. And I know you can attest to this, but the best players, the best traders, the best of anything are people that come in every day and try and get better. The people that lose and the people that underperform are the people that come in and try and win that day and believe success is a short process, shortcut, all the things you have to go through. There's 1,000 little things you got to do every day to be successful. It compounds on each other day after day. It does not show up. It is not apparent in the first 8 months of your trading career. There's almost has to be like a leap of faith for even some of the guys in the firm. And all of the guys who do well here all sat in your seat and were like, am I really going to make it? Is this really going to work? But then it does. You know, the guys that make it, it does start to make sense for them. And all of that compounded learning in the first 8 months starts to really kick in. And so one of the guys, I was in Vegas this weekend, and one of the traders from our community, Morgan Jones, caught me in the hallway of Las Vegas and talked to me about the impact that Reading Mindset by Carol Dweck had on his trading. I'm just sitting there, coming out of the bathroom, trying to enjoy myself, and this like really ambitious, great guy comes up, incredibly excited, and is like, thank you so much for introducing Mindset by Carol Dweck. I read it. It's been very influential in my work. I'm starting to make money. I've really turned the corner. I'm starting to follow these principles a lot more. This book is not about trading, but it has everything to do with trading. This book is not necessarily about success and has everything to do about success. It's one of the books that we tell you guys to read before you actually even step in the doors here. And so Morgan's sitting there telling me a story and then pivoting to tell me how great Spencer is, which I don't know if I was supposed to take that as a compliment because he's my partner. He didn't compliment me at all. Not at one point did he say, Bella, I really enjoyed your books, or I really enjoy your blogs. He just went on and on about Spencer, and he loves the AM meeting, and he just gets the best. How does Spencer do it with all his calls and the S&B AM meeting? And he's like, I totally agree with you when you say he's the best short-term trading commentator consistently that's out there in the Twitter sphere. And he's going on and on about Spencer, not a word about me, not a word about anybody else. But anyway, good to meet him. And that's a guy who found a lot of value out of reading Mindset. Yesterday, I had a conversation with Seth about an observation that he noticed about Shark 5 years ago. I noticed that during our big down day this week, when we broke out to the downside of our range, that Shark actually did a pretty good job of supplementing and expanding his profits on that day by expressing his ideas in options. He didn't just express his ideas in equities, he also expressed his ideas in options. And I was chatting with Shark, and I said, why did you decide to express your ideas with options? And I'm just curious, where did you learn that from? And he just, offhand said, well, I sat in Seth Freudberg's class 5 years ago when he was doing his options training program. Seth put together this basic options training program and started to understand things about theta and volatility and time decay. And then, of course, has experimented over the last 5 years with options. But Seth remembers him being really engaged. And so we say be present in meetings like this, and people think it's like a little thing. But Shark made, an extra $15,000 this week because he was engaged when Seth was teaching this class that was going to have no direct impact on how he was going to do for multiple years going forward. We weren't trading options at the time. He wasn't able to trade options at the time. There wasn't really anyone on the desk making a lot of money trading options. He just learned to grow. And 5 years later, he's sitting on a desk and is able to cash in on that knowledge. And you're going to sit here in one of these meetings one day, and a couple years down the line, something's going to kind of click in, and you're going to be like, oh, that's what Bella was talking about. Or that's what Memo was talking about, or that's what Carlton was talking about, or that's what Andrew's talking about, and it's going to help you make some more money. And so I remember a sit down I had with Big Dog about 4 months ago, and he's a very aggressive trader, and one of the things that stands out in my mind about him is how he was trying to get somewhere so fast. And how I could see him being really ambitious about going from like a $500,000 a year trader to a 7-figure trader. And me listening to him and me listening to some of the frustration that he was going through at present, him feeling like he should have had a $200,000 month when the month was a little bit less. And me just, I remember this to this day, me just sort of sitting there saying, why is this guy worried about being a 7-figure trader? In 3 to 5 years, he can be an 8-figure trader. That's what he should be thinking about. And so you want to be thinking about, on an everyday basis, how can I get better? Not get too frustrated, because you'll burn out. If you get really frustrated, we traded back in the late 90s. I remember on a Friday, the market was so intense and so fast. I remember being in my 20s and going to meet some friends who had come in from New York City for drinks and being so tired at like 8 o'clock at night that I couldn't keep my eyes open because I was so focused on trying to make money. And I wish back then that I was really thinking about just trying to get better and not worrying about, it was a lot of pressure when you could make $25,000 to $50,000 a day and you made 25 and you left 25 on the table. Think that was a lot. There was a lot of pressure on you, and the speed at which determined a $25,000 day or a $50,000 day was so small that I would have been healthier if I just sort of said, I'm just going to get better. I'll do the best I can. And I think big dog too. And then we've talked about one of the rips that our desk took in KBIO. It was a memorable after hours. One of our traders lost $400,000 in that trade because this trader embraces a growth mindset. That trader went from a huge rip that became a learning experience that helped him become a better trader, helped him to become better in very specific other types of trades, helped him become a bigger trader that I think a lot of people would have shrunk from. I think a lot of people have been like, oh my God, I just got creamed, and it would have impacted their trading negatively for many months going forward. And this trader, it propelled him to do better. Stock selection. So I wrote in one good trade. You're only as good as the stocks you trade. I will confess to you guys in the room that Seabry, our floor manager, Carlton, pinged me about some of you in this class that you guys are trading the wrong stocks, that you didn't know what stocks to trade, and we need to talk about it. We need to have an emergency meeting. You're in the wrong stocks. You're in too inexpensive stocks. You're in too spready stocks. And we need to have a talk about this. And you may have noticed that we've been a little bit more specific and demanding and vocal about the stocks that we're encouraging you guys to trade at the beginning, because this is a learning process for you, and it's not about making money, it's about improving. And so we've specifically been talking about finding stocks with a news catalyst, more specifically a news catalyst that's unusual. It's either unusually good or unusually negative. The street didn't expect it. The stocks that can finish high of day or low of day, we like to first look for those types of stocks. Stocks that are up or down 3% on the open. We use our S&B scanner to search for stocks like that. To look for stocks with tight spreads. I think this is one of the adjustments, one of the areas we've been highlighting more for guys who are trading right on the open. Look for things that have tight spreads that you can trade the opening drive with. Encouraging guys to trade stocks that are under $60. There can be some exceptions. That being, there's going to be stocks that are over $60 every once in a while where the spread is a little bit tighter. And then maybe the other exception is, hey, if you just really feel like you can trade stocks over $100 better than cheaper stocks. I know there is one gentleman who believes that in this room, and I'm not going to argue with that person. But I think that you think that, which is great. And we'll talk about trading this a little bit later. So there are a couple of exceptions. We're looking for things that are outside of a daily range. So it's better to see something on a longer term chart that's breaking out or breaking down. We're looking for something that has a high R-vol. R-vol is relative volume. Something that is trading much more volume on average than it normally does. And then we're always supplementing what we're doing for our preparation with the S&B AM meeting, and I would agree with Morgan Jones that Steve does offer the best commentary for short-term trading consistently of anyone I see out there. And the S&B AM meeting is an incredible opportunity for you guys to be in the right stocks, hear really terrific levels. Steve just sits there and trades every tick and has for the last 20 years. that's what he likes to do. And his levels that he calls out to you guys, the stocks that he calls out to you guys, add a lot of value. And then the SME scanner is something we encourage you guys to use to help with your AM preparation. I should say all that goes into this AM sheet, which we all share with each other. And then I try and get you guys to talk a little bit about what you're going to trade before the open, which I think is a good exercise. Brian, you got to come over and talk to me a little bit more. But I want to hear what you're thinking. And look, if you're in the wrong stocks, you're not going to make money. So I thought X was a great opportunity today. And then yesterday, what was the stock that went straight down and finished at the low, which we were like, we should have been, and it was really smooth and very, very weak. It was one of Alcoa. Thank you, Alcoa. 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row, Alcoa is just very, very weak. And not a hard stock to trade, right? Whereas, maybe trading a spreadier stock would have been a little bit harder. If you're in the right stocks, it can really make a difference. If you're in bad stocks, you can't make money. You just can't. I mean, they're too spready. You can't control your risk. They don't move enough. How are you supposed to make money? I was trading this UL at the beginning of the day, and I was like, I'm never going to make any money in this. Why am I bothering? It was just so slow. I couldn't tell if it was going to go up or down. It was so slow. It wasn't really moving away from price like we like a lot. And then, there are stocks where I feel I'm moving a lot and I just can't control my risk. Like, what was that stock that fell 15 points today? AAMC? I mean, God bless anyone who's, it had no volume and it went straight up and then it went down 15 points. I mean, it moved a lot, but I don't know how you make money in that. How do you control your risk in that? So getting that right will make a huge difference. And you guys will mess that up at the beginning. That's okay. You should never mess up your preparation. You'll get a scolding if you mess up your preparation. But it's okay to sort of choose incorrectly and then go back and understand why that was. All right, so trading this. So this is Dan G. Trades one specific trade. I'm actually really proud of him. He has really gone out of his way. So for those of you watching at home, we have a joint venture with the Kirshner Trading Group. They have an office in Austin, Texas. Dan G went down to visit some guys in Austin, Texas to exchange notes about a particular, I'm not going to tell you the strategy because it's an inefficiency strategy and I can't tell it to you. But he literally makes 90% of his money in one particular strategy. And he really studies this. And this is an example right here. I just remember this meeting. We came in and we had our monthly meeting with him and Dan goes, I want more capital for this particular strategy. And my first reaction was, can't stand this stupid strategy. This is not scalable. Like, this is a waste of his time. How is he going to make money with this? And he dumped, this is a picture of him dumping the data on our desk, suggesting he had a real edge trading this one particular setup. And he had a real edge. It was undeniable. And we ended up, we kept quiet. And I was actually just saying this myself. We were quiet and we looked at the data and we're like, yeah, size that up. Give him some more buying power for that. And then he's been, comparing notes, studying this. He just reached out to me and asked me to get him some more information from our floor broker, and I connected the two of them, and now they're starting to have a conversation about that. And he keeps really extensive stats and Excel spreadsheets on his work. And look, I don't love the fact that I don't love the idea of people trading one trade, but he was one of the better traders of the firm trading one trade. It happens. And there are guys out there that really do just master one trade. And so, he found something that kind of made sense to him. He tried some other trades that they didn't necessarily work. In fact, he's on a team that's a really good team that trades more of a scalping style. And he's not a bad scalper, but he's not a highly scalable scalper like some of the other guys. But he is in this one particular trade. And so he'll make a little bit of money scalping, but then shifting his attention to a niche where he's more scalable and works better for him has really helped him go from a guy not on the radar to a guy definitely on the radar. So we have this up on our whiteboard actually behind me. And this is an example of all of the trading strategies that I see short-term traders make pretty big money in. And you can see from that list, there are a lot of different types of ways that people can make money. And on our desk, there are different ways that people make money. So we have one team that focuses on international ARB. We have another team that focuses on scalping. We have some other guys that focus on a strategy, which I'm not going to say because it's an efficiency strategy and they'll get mad at me. We have some other guys that focus on automated trading. We have some other guys that will trade stocks and play. We have some other guys that will trade some low floats. They do different things. They're gravitating towards, they all learned here, they all learned the skills like reading the tape and reading charts and psychology and how to prepare and how to review here, what you guys are going through. And they learned certain setups that we all teach you, and then they gravitated towards things that made the most sense to them. This is a good example of how sticking, so people think, oh, you can't make a lot of money scalping. Well, these are Swang's results a couple months ago, scalping. Rewind 3 years ago, his monthly results were $4,000 to $8,000 a month. And fast forward now, his results are obviously much, much higher. He's sticking to his niche. I have said this to you guys before, is an amazing ability to process information. But he's sticking to his niche. And so sometimes people think, all I need to do is go and learn a particular strategy. All I need to do is sit over the shoulder of a shark or a Swang or a really successful, consistently profitable trader and just learn what they're doing. And that's a good start. It's good to sort of copy the masters. But for you to be really good, you've got to find edge, but then find edge, and this is the important part, the find edge that highlights your talents. It's like you can't say, I love football, and then say you want to be a running back and be 350 pounds. Okay? If you are 350 pounds and you love football, you need to play on the line. You can't play running back. If you say to me, you think really, really quickly, and you process information really, really quickly, you should probably be a scalper. If you are very analytical, you probably shouldn't be. All right, so I see this a lot with people. It's not enough to find edge. You have to find edge. You have to develop a niche that highlights your talents. And so, our head quant is another really good story of this. I remember going to Penn State, driving through sleet and hail, and meeting our now head quant for the first time, and he teaches you guys in this classroom each Tuesday about filters and automated trading and scripts. He sticks to what makes sense. I mean, you're not going to find anyone. He's one of the most brilliant people that I've ever really met. I mean, I always get the impression that he knows he's just a lot smarter than everyone. He's a really nice guy, but he just is. Let's be clear about it. He's just smarter than everyone, okay? You don't meet too many people in the world that are that smart. And so he chooses, he's an efficiency trader, which requires speed, right? It requires speed and it requires technology. He's good at those two things. If you sat him down and you made him trade the stocks and play, he probably would be barely profitable. You sit him down and you say, have at it with automated trading, have at it with inefficiency trading, and he's one of the top traders. I actually talked about this in the SMBU daily video. Do not skip this step. And you guys can, if somebody's watching at home and can put the link in to that. Yesterday I did a video on this. Do not skip this step. And it's the result of a conversation I overheard between a developing trader, a young trader, and a veteran trader. And the veteran trader went over to talk to the new trader, taking their temperature and how they were doing. And the new trader was like, I'm trying to figure it out. And then the veteran trader said, well, what do you do well? Tell me exactly what you do well. Tell me the variables. It wasn't me, by the way. Tell me the variables. I was overhearing this conversation. Tell me the variables of the trade. You need to be able to tell me what you do well. You need to be able to tell me what setups you do, and you need to do them more, and you need to do them bigger. And look, I wrote my second book, The Playbook. That's essentially a main thesis of the book. And this has been, a lot of people talk like this now. A lot of people use the language of the playbook that I wrote about to help people get better at trading. I mean, if you talk to, it's become very prevalent across the industry for people to talk like this. And so that's great. It's great to be helpful. And so this veteran trader was essentially, clearly read the playbook and was giving him advice from, I guess, the playbook and his experience, which probably verified a lot of the stuff I wrote about in the playbook. And you could see the new trader was like confused. Like, I'm new. Like, how do I know what I do well? I don't know that I do anything well. And I'm sure some of you feel that way. And so there's a step that we can't skip, and that's experimenting. So you guys go through the foundation, and then you go through trader development where you experiment. So we put before you guys a bunch of trade setups that you can try. And we talked about this the other day. I was showing reading the tape during one of our reading the tape sessions. I think I showed a couple of trades that I made, and I think a couple of you were like, I don't know if I can make that trade. That was really fast. And I think a couple of you were probably like, not only can I not make that trade, but I don't even know that I want to try that trade. Like, I don't even know if that would work for me, which is fine. And I said, it's not about whether or not, I'm not saying to you, you should do this trade. I'm just saying, here are a couple of trades, here are a couple of fade trades. There's something for you to think about. If they work for you, great. More importantly, let's teach reading the tape principles, and these are great examples of reading the tape principles. It's up to you to sort of formulate where you're going to go with your trading. So you need to experiment. So, and you know, Shar came in and talked to you guys yesterday after the close about how he attacked the big down day. And I'm sure he went over why he got short, what he got short in, and what he was thinking. And you know, that's another example of like being presented and exposed to different ideas. So you need to experiment. You need to, and we do this during trader development as well, you need to be exposed to the best practices which you turn into habits. So you guys have a routine that you go through every day. Those are best practices you're turning into habit. Then, when you're trading and you see things that work for you, you're developing a playbook. So over time, you're finding setups that work, you're archiving them, you're making a big deal about that. You're building your business. Your business is to find the trades that have a niche, that highlight your talents. Those could be trades that work for you, that make sense to you when you're trading in real time, and then you're going to highlight them. And then you guys are also learning technology. So we have a weekly meeting. You guys have some goals that you have to hit before you get out of trader development. So to me, you want a foundation, you want to experiment, you want to have best practices turn into habit, you want to be playbooking your best trades, you want to be embracing technology, you want to be pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone with consistency and with structure. So when you find out what you do well, you slowly scale that up. If we went back to Swang's results, that's how he did it. You know, we went from $4,000 to $8,000 a month to much more than that by just understanding what you do well. And you know, every day I sort of push him a little bit, slowly bumping yourself up consistently and with structure. And adding all of that up will get you to the point where you will be a consistently profitable trader. So trading niche is important. Embrace technology. So it might be the case that you're going to be a better automated trader than discretionary trader. There are two guys in the firm who sat in your seats, who started as discretionary traders, who are better automated traders. And actually there's three of them, because Andrew Faldy is one of them. He does SMBU systems. He runs SMBU systems, and not only may you be a better automated trader than discretionary trader, but I get the sense that Andrew is an auto trader because he wants to do other things. He wants to be more productive elsewhere. So we were talking about a strategy and him doing it that back tested well, but we were having some trouble automating in our automated engine. And so I said to him, well, why don't you just do it yourself? Why don't you just do it manually? And you can kind of see him being like, because I have other things to do, Mike. Like, I just want to run it. And so, there are people that want to be done with the strategy and move on. And that's fine. It helps you to play more offense from your strengths. Filters, scripts, automated trading, we talk about them every Tuesday. You guys have goals for filters and automated trading during trader development, which you need to accomplish, or else you don't get to go to team trading. And so this is an example right here. Let's just go through this a little bit quickly. So these are the equity curves. The next three are equity curves of one of the young guys who has been focusing on automated trading, pretty new here, and having some pretty good success with his automated trading. His equity curves for these 3 models. He actually has 5 models now. These are just 3 of them. I had him send them over. But he shows a really terrific equity curve for his models, and is not going to, his strengths are not in discretionary trading, but he could go on to be a very, very effective automated trader. So you want to embrace technology. Swang ran into my office a couple of months ago bragging about how his team is really adding value to his trading. One of the guys on his team, Hai Ming, has built filters for Swang. And Swang was talking about how it's added an extra $20,000 to his P&L. The other day I was sitting in my office with him. Hai Ming had just built him a new filter on low floats and found him a stock, and he made an extra $2,000 on that very day. Shark, you can hear saying, you make an extra 500 here and there, and it adds up by embracing the technology here. One of the top firm traders actually in Austin is consistently tweaking his filters and just trades what pops up. So he's got all these filters, and when something pops up on his filter, it actually leads to his level 2 box, and he pretty much just trades off of that. He's tweaked everything so much that he's just sort of letting the technology get him into stocks where he should make decisions. And Spencer likes to talk about our super simple scripts, we call them SSS, and how that allows him to trade more than a couple of different ideas at the same time, allows him to spread himself out to other ideas so he can play more offense. So that's very simple automated scripts where you say things like, hey, if this stock gets above this range, I'm going to buy it. If it goes up 50 cents, I'm going to sell a quarter. If it goes up 75 cents, sell me another half. If it gets below this, hit out of it. So it doesn't just buy the stock. It's not like a buy stop. You buy it, and then it helps you manage your position on the way out. And you can be real simple with it, and you can be a little bit more technical with it. So how do I improve my discipline? From our trading community, I think this is one of the top 5 frustrations. How do I get myself to be more disciplined? Well, the first thing is go to bed early. There is a lot of recent evidence that the most productive people go to sleep early. One of the presenters at the charity event I was in Las Vegas was great and talked about how if you want more freedom, be more disciplined. And I think a lot of people think that freedom equates to not having to really do anything and chill out and hang out. And what you find when you get a little bit older is that freedom is about being really disciplined. And he talked about being stronger, going to sleep earlier, being healthier, and pushing yourself in lots of different facets in life so that you improve your discipline. And I've always said to traders, you're not going to just sit on a desk and be disciplined. You actually have to be disciplined in your life. to be a disciplined trader. So I know a lot of you guys hit the weights. Some of you, I think, maybe too much. But what do you work out, like 3 hours a day?
Yeah, 2.5 to 3
Looking,
hours.
I got my 30-minute swim in today, okay? I got in, I got out of there. This is a pretty hard swim. Zeb, you see me get after it at the pool, right? I'm just crushing it. I'm working on my flip turns. I'm getting a little bit better each day, and so, but you got, that's a part of it, is you got to eat well, you have to exercise a little bit, you got to get to sleep, and you got to be in a good frame of mind. So one of the ways that we help you guys deal with this is develop a playbook and just trade your playbook. As you get more advanced, your business will be your playbook. You will understand that the way to make progress is to just trade the setups where you have edge a little bit bigger and more often, and slowly stop trading the setups where you don't, that aren't really worth your time. And if you continue to keep doing this, one veteran trader I heard speak recently talked about how he made the most progress in year 3 and year 4 of his trading career by doing this very thing. Understanding where he was making money and trading that a little bit bigger, and then just slowly, not being too hard on himself, slowly getting rid of some of the mediocre trades, some of the lesser trades, and experienced 50 and 100% gains year over year by doing this. Let's just flip back, Rye. So, bonus, 2 indicators that most profitable traders use. So VWAP, and we talk about how to use VWAP in SMB DNA. There's a really good lecture from Shark who runs you through that. And Arval to help with stock selection. And when Steve does his SMB AM meeting, which you guys get access to in SMB DNA, we'll talk about how to use this indicator. All right, and so lastly, I'll just sort of say that if you want to get better, it's about building domain knowledge, being able to sustain your energy. That means doing the work you need to do every day to get better, doing your routine, getting critical feedback. So if we get on you, don't take it personally. There's actually a really good book that I actually want to read. Tom Brady read the book, suggested recently that people read it, and there are these 4 pillars in the book for success, and one of those pillars is don't take anything personally. Okay, so, and Brian, I think you can attest to this. I think sometimes to coach people, you have to get on them.
Yep.
So if we get on you, that's a good thing. That's going to help you get better. You need critical feedback to get better. Purposeful practice. All right, so things like the playbook are examples of purposeful practice. Things like watching back film, like we do here at 12:30, is an example of purposeful practice. Trade review, where you go over your work, purposeful practice. And as always, look, I've seen guys not be good who become very good, and certainly I've seen guys who are good become very good. And as I finish the playbook, you can be better tomorrow than you are today. It's absolutely true. I mean, it's probably one of the biggest rewards and lessons you'll learn from trading for 20 years. So let's put up my contact information. If anyone has any questions, you can reach out to me here. Young Guns, why don't you go get some dinner? I'll stay and answer some questions for you. All right, so Mario wants to know where is our cutoff point for Arval, and whether or not it's 2 or above. So Arval is an indicator that is going to help you determine how in play a stock is. So the higher the Arval, Mario, the more in play a stock is. So if you're trading a biotech stock, you don't want to be scared about an Arval being 4 or above, because it's just going to be more in play. If you're trading a high beta stock like an Amazon or Facebook, you're going to see that jump up to above 2. If you're trading a stock that's really in play, you're going to see it above 4 and higher on an intraday basis, and you'll go from there. But the higher the Arval, the more in play it is. And so when I'm trading something, I'll be like, oh, I think this stock is really in play. And I will peek at Arval to make sure that it really is in play, to use it as an indicator to make sure that it really is in play as much as I think it is. All right, so one of you guys who wants to apply apparently wants to be very impressive. I like that. So there is an application process for DNA. The reason why we do that is we have a very specific culture here, and we want to make sure that you fit in, and we want to make sure that this course is right for you. If it's not, we'll tell you. It's not necessarily about you being excluded. It's more, we want to make sure that you are in the right class for you, and we want to know. We want you to know exactly what you're signing up for. This is certainly a course that will challenge you, and that's what we do here. You're not going to get better by being lazy. We want to find people that are trying to get better and are setting that as a goal over the next 5 weeks. So if you just send an email to Merritt and Black at smbcap.com, you can CC me too, and you can put in your charts if you want to show what kind of trading you're doing, and go from there. A lot of questions coming here. How do we handle secondary offerings of an ACI, or a Twillo in such a market on head? So one of the strategies that you may employ are secondaries. The secondary price is a major technical level. One of the first things you want to find out is who's doing the secondary, what their reputation is, and how subscribed the deal was. Was it hard for the investment bank to push this deal, or was it oversubscribed? If something is oversubscribed, we're going to try and buy that close to the secondary price. If we find out that something was very difficult to push through and it gets below the secondary price, we may short it. There are some people who trade low floats who try and guess that a secondary is actually coming. Something goes from $2 to $15, and they try and stay short, thinking that there's going to be a secondary. It's going to be much lower, and they're going to make a lot of money. So there are different techniques, but the key thing is how reputable the investment bank is, how close it is to the trading price, and whether or not it was oversubscribed. Good question. You know, Mandeep, I don't know what that book was. Maybe somebody could find it. I was actually in the gym, and I was watching. I was listening to the TV, and they were talking to Tom Brady, and he talked about this book and how it had been impactful on his life. And maybe I'll try and look that up and share that with you guys over Twitter. So when you take the DNA program, you are training with us. And I don't know if Merritt talked about Dennis, who started with SMB DNA, but Dennis started with SMB DNA, and he made a lot of progress with it. And because he made a lot of progress with SMB DNA, he actually then took the SMB Winning Trader, and we had a contest with the SMB Trader where we said, with the Winning Trader, we said the best student in the Winning Trader gets to come in-house and train with us for SMB Foundation. And you know, there were a lot of really serious people in the Winning Trader. Dennis was the most serious, and he ended up winning that, and he's coming to join us to train in-house in January. For DNA, you are training with us. You're not trading live with us. But certainly one of the hopes of anything we do here at SMBU, and you can sort of tell from, options is the best example. We started the Options Tribe, we started SMB Options as a purely educational entity. And we offered strategies to the trading community. And now the people who developed these strategies, many of those people, they trade on our desk. We now went from just starting with education to funding the options desk. We've gone from 0 to 13 traders in a couple of years, always looking for guys with edge. And so our hope is always that SMBU, and this happens, this certainly happens with serious students, we're always hoping that we find people who will find their way on the desk. We actually, the last person who took our in-house foundation is going to be on the desk in the next class. Ricky did a really good job, was very, very serious, has been training with us in-house, and then applied to the firm. And no brainer for us, we'd love to have him. Fits in, worked really hard, lots of ambition, very bright. So yeah, maybe you'll be one of those people. Yeah, so I get asked this question a lot. Finished college. Being a trader is something that's is difficult. There are a lot of people that want to be traders, and not everybody can do it. And you always want to have a plan B, and you also want to be you want to have some good foundation in statistics and in math and in coding and thinking and critical thinking, and you want to grow up a little bit and be mature, and I think college is part of that. So Ron asks, winning trader or DNA? So DNA is the first course that you want to take, and if you like it, then you can go on and take the winning trader. And the way that we always do everything here is that when you take one course and you want to go on and take another course, we're gonna give you a discount to do that, so that your education doesn't become too costly. So if you take DNA and you want to take the winning trader, you're going to get a discount for the winning trader. If you take DNA and the winning trader, and then you want to get ultra serious and take in-house training, we're going to give you a nice discount there as well. Yeah, so if you are planning to come and join us from overseas, this is New York City. There are a lot of great places to stay. There have been many people who have come before you who have used Airbnb or done a short-term rental, and Merrick can help you out with that. This is look, we think this is the greatest city in the world, I'll say it. And it's a wonderful, just being in New York City is an amazing experience outside of learning. And I think when anyone comes in-house and trains with us, they see that. So something to think about. All right, I got to take off. Thanks, everyone.